Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about having a done for the day list. But before we get into the topic for today's episode, just sharing a few updates with you. One life update I guess that I can share is that I am working on my YouTube channel right now. It's something that I'm super excited about because I created my first cooking video, just a video of showing something that I was one of the meals that I made in one of my weekly meal plans, and I made a video of it, posted it on YouTube, and it went really well, at least for my standards. I keep joking with my kids saying, did you know that my cooking video went viral? Which it definitely didn't do, but I got over 800 views. I got 30 likes on it. I got some comments. So I was really pretty excited because I tried to start the YouTube channel a year or two ago, maybe. I forget when I created a YouTube channel for the podcast, but it did terrible. Nobody really wants to listen to a podcast on YouTube. I didn't do a video of me recording or anything like that. It was just, basically it just had the a static image of the podcast, I forget what you call it, that little image that I always create that I post on Instagram or Facebook or whatever that shows the episode title and the episode number that I use to kind of promote the episode. So it was just basically an image of that with then the audio of me talking. And a few people listened here and there, but it's just not the type of things that people want on YouTube. And I totally get it. I only did it just because I thought, well, hey, why not try? So I kind of gave up on that. And then in the summer, I did maybe one or two quick little videos. I might have done a short, I don't even remember, just of some of my flowers or this grass that I'm growing or something like that. But I didn't really have many good ideas to do with that. So I think I only did one or two little things. And then finally I said, I think what would make sense to go along with my podcast for the YouTube channel is to just make videos of some of the recipes that I'm cooking, because I know a lot of people like to listen to the meal plan episodes, and I thought that it kind of would make sense to do videos of some of those meals, and then you can kind of get a visual and whatever. So I did it, and it like I said, it did really well. So I was super, super excited about that. So I'm going to focus on doing those. My plan was to do one a month, because I thought it would be much easier than it was. So, okay, let's say this the correct way. Originally, I wanted to do one per week. And then when I actually did one, I said, you know what? I'm going to do one per month because this takes way more time and effort than I imagined. The editing, it just takes so long. Now I have such a different appreciation for people who post those cooking videos or really any kind of videos on YouTube, because it takes so much time to edit it, and then I had to do a voiceover, and it took me a long time to get it going. But now that it did so well, I'm well, this could really maybe help grow the podcast because maybe people will see it, maybe they'll listen to the podcast, whatever. So I'm kind of really motivated to get moving on it. So I'm going to maybe try and see if I can do one per week when I can, and have at least one per month be my goal. But if I can get more done, I'm going to try. I'm going to try and do a video tomorrow or tonight. Actually, I'm making pumpkin chili, so I thought that would be a perfect one to do for the season. So anyway, I'm working on that. I'm really pretty excited about it. So that's my little quick life update. And then my loving for the week is baby goats. We are we board our horses at a farm that's not too far from us, and we are obsessed with the baby goats that were just born there within the last week or so. They're so cute. My daughters came with me the other day. They're 17 and 20, and they were taking selfies with the goats and like playing with the goats and holding the goats, and they're just like the cutest things ever, these little baby goats. And that's something that we've been loving this week. They're just so adorable, and it's just, you just can't like get over looking at them. They're just like the cutest thing ever. So we've been loving the baby goats. And I do have one other loving lately to share this week, which is my Halloween shower curtain. I totally had forgotten about it. I bought it last year at TJ Maxx, and I did use it last year, but it was just like one of those things where like when you get something new and then you kind of forget that you have it until when you look at your stuff to put up for the season. So we pulled down our bins for Halloween, like / fall stuff that we have to put out. And I was going through it and I saw it. I kind of had it like folded up. So when I pulled it out, I was thinking like, what is this? Is this like a tablecloth or something? And then I unfolded it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Halloween shower curtain I got last year. I had totally forgotten about it. And it's so cute, and it just makes the bathroom look really cute. It's like solid black, and then it has like these little like, I don't even remember if they're like little skeletons or like different things all over it. And it just looks super cute. And it kind of reminds me of something similar to like Disney's Haunted Mansion, like style, like how it's kind of like what it looks like. I'll have to take a picture maybe and post it if I think of it. But it's just really cute. So I'm really loving that, and I'm super excited that I had that. And it was just really fun to find when I opened up the Halloween stuff. So anyway, for today's topic, we are talking about having a done for the day list. So when I first heard of the concept of a done for the day list, it was referring to a list of things that once you completed would signify that you were done for the day. Anything else that might get done after those things were completed could just be considered a bonus. So I've also seen a done for the day list identified as a list of tasks or activities that you have completed by the end of the day. So where it's more about writing things down after the fact and then acknowledging what you've done once you've completed it, like more like an afterthought, but not really like a plan for the day. So I think that's a cool idea too, but what I'm talking about today is the first way of using a done for the day list, where you create a list of your biggest priorities for the day prior to starting your day. And then once you have completed those items that are on your list, you can feel confident that you've made good use of your time, and you can have a sense of accomplishment about your day, knowing that you've done all that you had to do, and you can just like let it go. And if you want to do more, you can do more. But if you don't want to do more, then you don't do more, and you still know that you've made forward movement on whatever it is you've been trying to accomplish for that day or in that point in time. So in order to create a done for the day list, you kind of need to first think about what done looks like. Does done mean that you have completed a project? Probably not, unless it's something that really must be completed today. It could look like completing the first step on a project though. Maybe if you're going to paint a room, it might be that you'll make a final decision on the color, or you'll go pick up the paint today. Maybe if you have several phone calls that you've been putting off, maybe done for today looks like getting one of those calls checked off your list. By kind of determining what done looks like, you can really help create a list for yourself that once you have completed it for the day, you really feel good about what you were able to get done. And if you think about what done looks like, and it looks like something that you cannot possibly complete today, then you really want to rethink it, because it's important that your done for the day list looks like something that you can actually achieve. If you have many goals or to-dos, if you're overwhelmed by the number of things that you really want to achieve in a day, it can really be helpful to break them down into smaller tasks. If you have an enormous to-do list, consider assigning maybe just one important task that can be reasonably accomplished to your done for the day list each day. Because breaking things down really allows you to complete small parts and just keep making progress, because when we don't break things down into manageable pieces, we usually actually wind up getting less done, because it's just overwhelming when you look at this massive list of things to do or this big giant project. But when you can put a project or a to-do list into smaller, reasonably accomplishable pieces, you really get rid of that feeling of overwhelm, because it's not this big massive project. It's just one little piece that you have to do. So breaking them down is really important to keeping yourself moving and having things that you can reasonably accomplish and feel good about. And another good thing about having a list like this too is it does really actually kind of reduce your stress, because having a list of completed tasks at the end of the day can really give you this like great sense of accomplishment and relieve your stress about all that you have to do, because you can see that you're making progress. You can acknowledge what you've done and give yourself credit for what you've achieved. So sometimes when a busy day's over, it might all be a blur and you might not even remember all that you've done. But by seeing that you've at least completed your most important priorities for the day, you can give yourself credit and acknowledge and have that feeling of accomplishment that can reduce that stress level, because you can say, hey, I have all these things to do, but look what I've gotten done today. And it also kind of just helps you manage time a little bit better, because, when you have a done for the day list, you kind of are able to focus on smaller tasks and get those things done and manage your time by keeping focused on those items that are on your list, rather than kind of just randomly deciding things to work on throughout the day that might not really wind up having been the priorities that you would have liked to get done. You don't want to set yourself up to feel like you didn't even achieve your priorities for the day because the list of priorities you set for yourself was unrealistic to achieve either. So you want to make sure that you're only picking really the most important things and keeping that list minimal, maybe even just including 2 or 3 items. Because the whole point of doing a done for the day list, or any really to-do list type, method, is not to maximize every single moment of your day. It's to come up with a list of things you can realistically accomplish. And really this list, a done for the day list, really is no different than any other to-do list. It's really just a way to kind of identify it so that you can feel like when you check that last thing off, you're done for the day and you do not need to worry about getting anything else accomplished. So by taking the time to really think about those top priorities and having that plan to accomplish them, like I said, it really helps you kind of stay focused and maintain motivation more easily, because you have a plan right in front of you. So you know exactly what to do, what to be working on, and what to do when you finish the first one. You have a direct thing. You can just say, okay, this is done. Now I'm moving on to the next item on my list. And you're not continuously having to reassess this master to-do list or figure out like what you want to do. You can just stay focused on your important tasks, and then you wind up getting them in a lesser amount of time because you don't have all these other things in the back of your mind distracting you. It also helps reduce some anxiety, because when you have a clear plan about what you want to do, it gives you a sense of direction, and it really allows you to focus on the tasks that you've identified as your priorities for the day. And it can really help you focus on what you have accomplished rather than thinking about that never-ending list of what still needs to be done. So it definitely helps those overwhelmed feelings that can happen when you have like a really busy time in your life. And of course, like with everything, if you want to try something like this, it's always best to start small. If making a list of things that you're telling yourself must get done by the end of the day feels like too much of a commitment, then maybe consider just identifying one priority for the day. If you get one priority done each day, even just on the weekdays, that's 5 priorities that'll be completed for the week. So remember that creating a done for the day list is intended to help you have more balance in your life. So you want to limit yourself to what really needs to be done and allow time for other things. You don't want to make an unachievable done for the day list. You want to be able to achieve some priorities for the day while still having time to rest and do other things that you want to be able to do. So it's not something where you want to, have this list that's just like completely unrealistic and unachievable. You want to have thoughtful priorities that can realistically be done, allowing for time for other things to come up, which usually does, and that you can feel good about that you've completed when the day is over. And this is not something that you have to commit to on a daily basis in order for it to be helpful. Maybe something like this would be useful to you during a very busy time of life, or maybe even like during the holidays when there's like a lot of things that have to be done in a relatively short period of time, and you can just kind of break them down into pieces and maybe assign 1 or 2 of those pieces each day. So maybe give it a try and see if it's helpful to you. I think, like I said, it's really not much different than any other prioritized to-do list where you limit yourself to a certain number of things that you really want to accomplish each day. I just think the idea of calling it a done for the day list really just makes it feel good, because once you check off that last item, you can say, I am done. And I made my, I prioritized my time, and I got my priorities done today, and I don't have to worry about anything else. So I think it's more just the idea of calling it a done for the day list that I really love. It's not necessarily that it's really much different than any other type of, prioritized daily to-do list. So that's it for today. I really hope this was helpful to you. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes, and definitely all of my meal plan episodes, at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.